All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025, Missile Monday. And I have this article from Irish Times. And it says, why the doomsday clock has been moved to just 89 seconds to midnight. So, I'm just going to go into this article and then bring out a few scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And last month, I forget, but it was just, a few days ago where you pretty much had, the doomsday clock, because from 2023 to 2024, it was at 90 seconds to midnight. Now it's at 89 seconds to midnight, just meaning that we're that much, closer to doomsday, if you will, World War III. So it says this week, the doomsday clock was set closer to midnight than ever. Russian nuclear threats following the country's invasion of Ukraine, growing tensions in other parts of the world, military applications of artificial intelligence, and a worsening climate crisis were cited as factors pushing us to global catastrophe. The symbolic clock is set at 89 seconds before midnight, the theoretical point of annihilation, a second closer than last year. It says, who sets the doomsday clock? It is set by Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, an independent, non-profit organization based in the United States and run by eminent scientists. Advice is provided by 10 Nobel laureates, if I pronounced that correctly. But yeah, I did a video on that as well. So that's who is pretty much in charge of the doomsday clock, the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists, Slovakia. So it says it was created in 1947 amid Cold War tensions following the Second World War to warn the public about how close mankind was to destroying the world. Its brief has broadened since to include other threats. Now they said mankind. Mankind isn't going to destroy the world, it's you Edomites. Because although these other nations have nuclear technology, there's really only one nation of people that actually possess the capabilities to do these things, man. It was only given to one people. Of course, again, like I said, other nations have, missiles, but in reality, that technology, that knowledge was given to one person or one group of people, and that was the nation of Edom, man. Because we have to remember, which I'm going to grab that, Esau's blessing was the sword, man, you know, and it shows. So it says, does this annual ritual matter? It says it may be dismissed as theater, but the process of setting the clock is the outcome of thorough risk analysis. Fundamentally, it serves to concentrate minds on planetary threats of late turbulent geopolitics, underlines lack of room to maneuver so close to midnight. A wrong move, intended or by accident, could short circuit a move to catastrophe. Says what forced the dial closer to annihilation time. Says the factors shaping this year's decisions. The factors shaping this year's decision were not new in 2024, but we have seen insufficient progress in addressing key challenges, and in many cases, this is leading to increasingly negative and worrisome effects warned Daniel Holes, chair of the Bulletin's Science and Security Board. The usual frank commentary is provided. The 2025 clock times signals that the world is on course of unprecedented risk and that continuing on the current path is a form of madness. The United States, China, and Russia have the prime responsibility to pull the world back from the brink. The world depends on immediate action. So, right, remember, these are the primary three countries, really two, Russia and the United States. But again, China is also up there as well, man. You know, Russia and China are allies. The United States is, going to be against these countries. Well, they're already against these countries, but, these are two of the nations that America's going to be up against. And as we know, World War III isn't going to be official until Russia and America are directly at war with each other, you know. But in this article is giving, the reasons why, it was set to 89 seconds. So it says Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine launched Europe's bloodiest conflict since the Second World War. The war in Ukraine continues to loom as a large source of nuclear risk. That conflict could escalate to include nuclear weapons at any moment due to rash decision or through accident and miscalculation, Professor Holt said. Says the Middle East has been another source of instability with the Israel-Gaza war and regional hostilities involving countries including Iran. Says China has stepped up military pressure near Taiwan. Nuclear armed North Korea continues with tests of ballistic missiles. Last year was the hottest in record history due to human induced carbon emissions. While there has been impressive Slovakia, man. Says last year was the hottest in recorded history due to human induced carbon emissions, while there has been impressive growth in wind and solar energy. Slovakia said the world is still falling short of what is necessary to prevent the worst aspects of climate change. All right, well, you already know that the last part is BS, man. But you clearly see that that's what's going on in the world, man. You have these different wars that are taking place. It's like it stated, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Gaza, China and Taiwan. Then you have North Korea, testing their weapons. The world is literally at war right now. That's the time that we're in. And the American people, they brush this off as something like it's light, man. This isn't light, you know. And this is something that should be taken extremely seriously because, again, the closer, the hand gets to midnight, that means we're that much closer to World War III. Because a lot of these people don't understand that America is going to be destroyed by nuclear missiles, man. You know, because as we know, America is going to be completely destroyed. The land of Israel is going to be destroyed, but it'll be built back up. And what other lands, that may get hit, they'll be built back up. But America is going to be left completely desolate, you know. So this is very serious, man. It was at 90 seconds to midnight. No one said 89 seconds, we're just 1 second closer to World War III. So I'm going to start in the book of Malachi, chapter 4, and verse 1. And it says, For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts. that it shall leave there neither root nor branch. And right, that's the day that's coming. You know, we're 1 second, according to the doomsday clock, we're you know, 1 second closer. We're from 90 seconds to midnight. Now it's at 89 seconds. That day that come, the day that cometh that shall burn as an oven is talking about World War III, man. I.e. the day of the Lord. That's what's coming. And what is going to be used to bring about, that heat that it's talking about, man. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, and verse 16. It says, Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals and the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy and write. And these modern day scientists and physicists, you know, are the modern blacksmiths, because what does a blacksmith do? They create weapons of war. And that's what these scientists are doing, man. They're creating weapons of war. That's what that waster to destroy is, man. These ICBM missiles, you know, because you clearly see how advanced the technology is now. A primary example that is never going to be forgotten is the incident with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The two atomic bombs that were dropped. Now remember, those bombs had to be dropped over those Japanese cities. Now you don't have to fly a plane, over that particular city or land to, drop those nukes. They can be sent, from one end of the earth to the other with simply the push of a button. You know, it's the reason why this isn't going to be a traditional war. You know, so I'm going to grab that in the book of Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So right, man, that's primarily how this war is going to be fought, with these nuclear missiles, because as we know, traditional warfare was, men on one side of the battlefield, men on the other side charging each other, in the center, having weapons of war, swords, spears, shields, bow and arrows, things of that sort. It's not going to be like that this time. Now, though, you will have ground troops that are going to be going to war with each other, but this war is primarily going to be fought with those missiles, you know, and this is the time that we're in. So, just real quick, I'm going to grab that, getting straight to the point in Genesis chapter 27 and verse 40. And it says, And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shall, it's like, yeah, and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break the yoke. It's like that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So, right, man, that was Esau's blessing, you know, to, it's like it says in verse 39, to have the fatness. So, obviously, Esau, he's living better than us. He pretty much has the best of everything right now, but his primary blessing was the sword, and we're seeing that with these nuclear missiles, man. That's his blessing. Now, do these other nations have them? Yes, but that's not their blessing. That's Esau's blessing. That's why they're saying that, mankind is going to, pretty much, end the world, which somewhat, that statement is somewhat true because, again, you have China, which are the Moabites. You have Iran, Elam. You have a few different or a couple different nations that do have these missiles, So, in that aspect, as far as mankind, different nations having these missiles, yes. But in reality, it's really one nation of people that is, causing these things to, or that is going to, cause these things to happen. Ultimately, it's the Heavenly Father, He wants these things to happen, but, this is all Esau's doing, you know. So I'm going to get the book of, I just grabbed that, the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 9. And it says, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the inhabitants of war draw near, Let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Excuse me, Slakia. And yeah, man, these other nations that possess these missiles, they're no longer afraid of America anymore. That's the weak saying that they're strong, that, America had the world in fear during, 1945 after, it dropped those bombs on Japan. Now these other nations, they're no longer afraid. These other nuclear armed nations, that's the weak saying that they're strong, man, because they're exhausting their resources into war instead of, agriculture, you know, because that's the time that we're in. So I'm just going to grab that real quick in your book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and straight to the point, verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And that's the time that we're in, man. We're in a time of hate, you know, and we're definitely in a time of war, man. That's what's in the air, war, man. You know, and this is what the Lord told us about. These are the things that the Lord told us to look for, to know that He was near, you know. So I'm going to grab that in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6, and it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And again, where it listed those things, man. We're hearing of wars and rumors of wars again right now, even though it's going to happen. World War III, it's still a rumor. Until it finally, brews up. Until it finally, it kicks off. It's still a rumor. It won't be official until those primary two nations are at war. Russia and America. But again, Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Gaza, China and Taiwan, you have these different nations that are at war with each other, man. These still, that are still going to war, you know, and this is what we're looking for. This is what we're waiting for, you know, because this war is literally going to end all wars, but it's only for an appointed time, right? So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1. And it says, and after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. So, right, you have, four literal angels that are holding back the four winds. The four winds, being that destruction, you know, to take place. Because again, there's a set time when this is going to take place, but it can't happen until the elect are sealed, right? Verse 2, it says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to hurt, Slucky, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. So, right, you know, once the elect is sealed, all hell breaks loose here in America. You know, the prophecy of, the mark of the beast being made mandatory, the um, book of Revelation 13 and 16 on down. Once that prophecy comes to pass, then, World War III is going to take place shortly after, you know. So I'm going to get that in Revelation chapter 9 and verse 12. And it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more after. So, right, World War One took place, but it said that two more woes. That's what woe means, war, destruction, or it's like a destruction, you know. So I'm going to jump to Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, and it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So, right, man, World War Two, came and went. Now we're on the brink of that third world war, man, because it says three woe, those, yeah, pretty much those three woes, man, you know, That first woe, World War One, the second woe, World War Two, and that third woe is World War Three. The war to end all wars, man. You know. So jumping back to Revelation chapter 9, and I'm going to end it with this. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 15. And it says, "And the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men." So, right, there is an appointed time when this war, when this destruction is going to take place upon the earth. There's a particular hour, day, month, and a year, when these things are going to happen. And it says, for to slay the third part of men, because you have three classes of men on the earth. You have the sons of God, which are the, biblical Israelites, all 12 tribes from Judah all the way down to Issachar. You have the sons of men, which are, the heathen nations, and you have the sons of the wicked, which are the nation of Edom, the so-called white man. That's who this destruction is for. It's for Edom, you know. But you will have 2/3 that are going to receive that judgment that Edom is going to get, and certain of the heathens, whatever heathens are over here in America, they're just over here to die. The other heathens around the world, they're going to be taken into captivity, you know. But hey, we're 1 second closer, to doomsday. According to the doomsday clock, it was at 90 seconds to midnight from 2023 to 2024. And just, last month, just a few days ago, it was set to, 89 seconds, man. So, we're that much closer. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say